What's going on, everybody? It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show, your 24-hour day. Remember, you guys to subscribe to our KBR Sports podcast on Spreaker, Rabble, SoundCloud, YouTube, and iTunes. That way, you guys will always get updates whenever our new podcast goes up, whenever we're streaming live. Also, make sure you guys always can comment on the Rabblecast, Spreaker, and also on SoundCloud and YouTube and everything. Comment so we can read your comments live during the show. While we're broadcasting live. Also, you guys can always join in our debates, our discussions, by calling in to 571-991-0566. But all right, going on to the next topic. What's up?
Going on to the next topic.
My voice, right?
No. I figure the Rams fan, the Rams fan should start off this topic.
Okay.
Yesterday, the number one pick finally made his debut. Jared Goff finally played. After Jeff Fisher said there was no chance he was going to play, he finally went out there and played in a loss to the Dolphins, which they blew a lead in the fourth quarter. So, Brendan, you finally got to see him. The future, the man, Jared. How did you grade him yesterday?
A D+.
Damn. I mean, sheesh. That's low.
C-. C-.
All right, that's a little better.
Yeah, I'm only calling it C- because he wasn't really given the chance to be good.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
Okay.
So, and when I say it by that, I mean the Rams, the coaching staff called really conservative plays yesterday for Jared Goff. It was obvious they didn't want him to be put in a position where he might throw a pick. They didn't want him to make any difficult throws. They thought that might be a little too much for him. So, majority of Jared Goff's passes, were literally 10 yards or less. A good amount of his passes. He only attempted 3 passes beyond 20 yards, and then 4 passes beyond 20 yards, and then on a good two of them were last minute heaves in order to try and win the game. So they really didn't want to have to put Jared Goff in a position where he had to make plays. So they pretty much didn't exactly let him off any kind of leash, even though Jeff Fisher's quoted as saying, we're not going to scale back the offense at all. We're going to expand our offense in order to, because Jared Goff has more arm talent, which he definitely didn't do. So I can't really judge Jared appropriate. And it was raining in Los Angeles yesterday, so they were trying to make sure they weren't throwing too much. And the run to pass ratio was 31-28.
Good balance.
So yeah, it's pretty good balance. So I mean, just to give y'all his stats, I mean, he was 17 of 31, 54.8 completion percentage, and he threw for 134 yards. So it's not great at all, but it's essentially what the Rams wanted. You know what I mean? That's exactly they try to bank the win off their defense, and their defense literally held the Dolphins to nothing throughout the whole game until about 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
And then in the fourth quarter, game-clinching drive, what'd they do? 3 runs, 3 short passes, didn't get where they need to get to.
Yep.
After that, 2 runs, short pass, didn't get a first down.
Yep.
So
it's like I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm just like, man, it's so tough to but here's the thing that were little things that I saw from Goff that I was like, okay, he's a rookie. If anybody noticed on the last drive when they were trying to tie the game up, or when he was going to go and try and take the lead, drive them down the field, take the lead, he literally threw a short pass in a situation where you needed big yardage in order to get down the field fast enough to get a touchdown. He took a short pass in the middle of the field where his receiver was tackled inbounds. And it's one of those things as a quarterback, he should know, hey, I only have this amount of time left on the clock. And then even after the play happened, there was no sense of urgency from the team. They didn't look like they were trying to run a 2-minute drill or anything. And he was looking to the sideline the whole time to look at what the play call was going to be. For anybody that knows, young quarterbacks tend to do that all the time, especially college. You get all your play calls from the sideline instead of, if you know the playbook, you're going to be the one out there choosing the right play for the right situation. Granted, that normally comes with time and experience in a certain offense and as you have played, but it was obvious that he was a rookie. I mean, Nigel, what did you think about him last night?
Gave him a D.
Oh, shit. Okay. And you were talking about me.
Yeah. Gave him a D. But let me rephrase that. It's not that he got a D. If you really had to ask me, he got a C. Jeff Fisher got an F. And if I could go lower than the F, I absolutely would go lower than the F. This whole thing was just a microcosm of how terrible Jeff Fisher is. I don't think it's the first time I've ever stated Jeff Fisher is terrible. He has no reason to be in St. Louis right now because he's an awful coach who has done nothing in his. I'm sorry. Let me stop. Let me chill right there. Let me stop right there for a second. Let me stop right there for a second. Sorry. I don't like. I just can't stand. I can't stand retreads, and I can't stand bad retreads, which is all Jeff Fisher has been pretty much since he's been in Los Angeles, to be honest, or formerly St. Louis. So like you said, it was hard to judge Goff yesterday. And the quote you said, they weren't going to scale anything back. After the game, he said, there was nothing from an offensive standpoint that was minimized because of Jared. So, if there was nothing minimized from Jared, I'm worried about Jared going forward. Yeah. Because if the whole playbook was open to him this game, and the best shot was 17 of 31, 134 yards, on nothing but screening and dinking it, I'm worried that you wasted 6 draft picks for a guy you can just throw Case Keenum back in there if you want to go ahead and do that. I mean, it won't make a dang bit of difference.
They actually attempted more passes down the field with Casey Keenum.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, our terrible quarterback, go ahead and throw it. We'll chuck it all the way down the field and have him throw picks left and right. But our quarterback that we drafted
traded up multiple draft picks.
6 draft picks for the guy, and you're not going to say, hey, go. You've been waiting for this moment for 11 weeks. Go out there and let it fly, kid. You know what? We suck this season. We're not gonna win anything. We don't have our pick anyway. Might as well go ahead and without flinging and slinging like we can't do anything else anyway. Todd Gurley's not gonna get any yards. Make them respect you. Even if you go out there and you make some mistakes, guess what? Let us find the good things about it, and we can work on those things for the rest of the season going forward. But him sitting back there, sorry. No, you good. I called. Him sitting there just, let me just chuck this 3-yard pass. Let me chuck this 2-yard pass. Let me chuck this screen. Doesn't do anything. We can't evaluate him. You can't. What are you going to see on the field from that you can look and think, yeah, that's exactly what we want from a quarterback. You can't do anything with that.
Yeah, it was bad. It's also bad too because literally, it's exactly what you said. Because in the first 2 quarters, Todd Gurley, this is the first time that the defense really wasn't playing straight up for Todd Gurley. Mm-hmm. And it was because
he killed it.
Yeah, it's because they realized, hey, Jared Goff can actually throw the ball. And Jeff elaborated saying that they're going to actually throw the football. But then I think Todd Gurley had his first 20-plus yard run of the season, which he had his only touchdown that scored of the game. And then another 18-yard. First time he had 2 back-to-back 15-plus yard runs in a game.
If you took out if you took the biggest run of Todd Gurley's, every single game of Todd Gurley's season so far, it'd be 2.5 yards per carry.
It's terrible.
Bad.
It's so bad. And it's like, it's one of those things that,
please.
And they actually were getting respected for their throwing ability. But then it's like, once the Dolphins defense realized they're not doing anything different, they're just doing dink downs and check downs and everything. They're doing little intermediate throws. They're not doing anything explosive, so we don't need to play anybody else but Todd. And so it's like, it's one of those things that I sit there, I'm just like, man, this is why you don't unless you get an offensive coordinator that's worthy of being a head coach, you don't make a defensive coach a head coach, because it doesn't work. I mean, you can say the same thing. It works vice versa. Like you see in right now, they're struggling in New Orleans. Sean Payton's an offensive coach. Their offense is perfectly fine. The Rams' defense is perfectly fine. The Rams' defense is top 10 in scoring and yards allowed. But
it's great for the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's just their offense can't do anything. So, I mean, what do you see for Jared Goff moving forward? Like, I don't know how to project.
New management.
It's a new management?
New coaching.
Oh, my gosh.
Because he's not going to be able to do anything unless they get a new coach. Simple as that. Jared, he's not going to let the reins off. He's just going to hold him in and he say, you know what? As long as we get 10 points on the board, I'm happy with that.
Next week they play the Saints. So how do you think he plays against the Saints?
If they don't open the taps up against the Saints, I know hope for him. As simple as that. If he's not going to say, go ahead and throw it against the Saints who haven't played defense in like 6 years, not going to say no. He's not going to do anything on the job.
6 years?
Yeah, they suck.
So the Saints haven't played defense in 6 years. Oh my gosh!
And I can't even think they played defense. They played defense on Thursday.
Yeah, they did.
Allowed them 23 points, which was shocking.
Yeah, I know. All right, y'all. We're gonna change to some NBA basketball. We're gonna ask the question: have the Warriors actually been bad for basketball this year instead of a good, which many people thought they might be? Stay tuned, y'all. It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show 24-hour day.
Second most losing coach in NFL history.